Nursing is the heart of healthcare.
I feel like doctors treat and nurses heal. And when I look at patients, I think, what if this was my mother, my husband, my son?
All too often, nurses are taken for granted, but when Patrick became ill, we saw nurses in a whole different light. We realized as a family that nurses weren't receiving the recognition that they so deserved, so we created Daisy as a way for patients and families to be able to tell their story about how a nurse impacted their life in a positive way. Patrick was an amazing person. He was funny, inspirational, smart, outgoing, personable. He knew no strangers, and he lived every day to the fullest. We had just had our first child, and we were looking forward to some of the best times of our lives. And then our world was turned upside down.
When our Patrick died after 8 weeks of an intense illness in the hospital, my husband Mark and I were so touched by the care he had from his nurses that we just had to find a way to say thank you for what nurses do every single day that they don't give a second thought to. So we created the DAISY Foundation, DAISY being an acronym for Diseases Attacking the Immune System, as our way to express our personal gratitude, our profound thanks to nurses.
The DAISY Foundation really is about nursing excellence. We consider our nurses to be very special components to the care that our patients and families receive. So to have a unique recognition program for them exemplifies what they do each and every day.
When you or a family member are in the hospital, you expect to get really good clinical care. That's why you're in a hospital. What we didn't expect was the way that care was delivered, the compassion, the kindness, the little things they do, not to mention the huge things they do, that make all the difference in the patient's experience.
After Joe was born, he had 9 hours of surgery, and it was over at about 1:30 in the morning. You have to picture a strung-out, exhausted mom. I completely lost it, and I clearly remember screaming, "Please don't keep my baby from me." And I hit the floor. The next thing I know, Debbie was sitting next to me on the floor. And she held me while I cried. And what she did was she kept my heart from breaking, and she helped it start to heal. She's an angel. And that's why I nominated her.
We wanted a way for the stories of extraordinary compassion and skill to be celebrated in a very public, happy way.
She's truly an amazing nurse, and you can count me among those that say, this is a nurse I would choose to take care of one of my family members.
Nurses are so surprised when they receive the DAISY Award. They just don't expect that anyone is going to honor them for the work that they take for granted because they've done it every day. And yet, when they are recognized, they carry themselves differently. They talk about themselves as being, I'm a DAISY nurse.
The day that I received the DAISY Award, I had no idea what was going on. I was in a patient's room, and my manager poked her head in and said, after you're finished, we need you out here for a minute. And I said, okay. I walked out, and I saw the Cinnabon on the table, and I knew that someone was getting the DAISY Award, and I hoped it was me.
The connection between Cinnabon and healthcare organizations is not exactly an obvious link, but Pat's story is what really creates that link.
When Pat was sick, he had basically quit eating. He wasn't eating anything at all. And I brought a Cinnabon in one morning for myself. And he asked for a bite of it, and then he proceeded to eat the whole thing. And that night, when we left, he said, please bring me one in the morning and make sure you bring enough for all the nurses.
It's the fact that Pat wanted his nurses to have his favorite treat, Cinnabons. He wanted to share them with his nurses. So we, in turn, want to share Cinnabons with all nurses.
And so we ask that whenever a nurse smells a Cinnabon, whenever they taste a Cinnabon, whenever they think about a Cinnabon, they let that serve as a memory to just how special they are.
Everybody loves the Cinnabons, and the great thing is it's turned into a celebration for the whole unit, a way for everyone within the unit to celebrate nursing, to celebrate the great work that's being done. In addition, each DAISY recipient receives an award certificate proclaiming them a DAISY nurse and telling them about the meaningful difference they make in the lives of so many people. They also receive a DAISY banner that hangs in their unit until the next DAISY award. The nurse recipient also receives a beautiful Healer's Touch sculpture. These are hand-carved for us by a tribe in Zimbabwe, and we felt like this sculpture reflects the relationship between a nurse and his or her patient.
My DAISY pin reminds me of why I am a nurse and why I come to work every day. No matter how I'm feeling, I always know that I can make a difference in a life today.
And it's not just the pin. It is the sense of recognition. It's the fact that a patient or family member or colleague nominated them, and then they were chosen by their peers, by nurses who really know what great nursing means. What we hear again and again from chief nursing officers and chief executive officers is that the DAISY Award truly changes the culture of the organization, and they tell us this is the best thing we've ever done.
It's a very tangible program that recognizes people for doing great things in nursing, doing great things in patient care, but it also is really helping us to transform our culture.
These nurses give so much to their patients that we designed DAISY as a way to give back to the nurses for the incredible work they do day in and day out. The program is easy to implement, it's elegant, and the seed we planted 12 years ago is being recognized worldwide.
A DAISY nurse is a nurse who, besides being a good clinician, is someone who loves being a nurse, who every day takes care of the patients and the families as if it were their own family.
They make the world a better place. They are America's unsung heroes, and they are absolutely terrific, special people.
As a parent, the DAISY Foundation has been the way I can thank the people that gave me my son.